Hello everyone. Thank you for coming to our channel. We are FacetoPeace. We want more and more people to know our online monument tour, which we FacetoPeace has for the videos on YouTube. The theme of this video is Let's Learn Hiroshima Outline Explanation of the Atomic Bomb Part 1. We have the same video in Japanese. We will be talking about these three main topics: the history up to the atomic bombing, the damage of it in Hiroshima, and the passage from 1945 to 2021. To make the long, complicated story short and simple, we'd like to divide it into three parts. In Part 1, we will mainly introduce the history up to the atomic bombing.
Okay, let's begin. How much do you know about the atomic bomb? Firstly, we'll explain why the atomic bomb was dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, going back in the Second Sino-Japanese War. In 1931, the Manchurian incident happened, and Japan invaded the region of Manchuria that was located to the northeast of China. In 1932, Japan built the Manchu Empire. After that, Japan planned to invade the Chinese continent. Because of the Marco Polo Bridge Lugo-Chao incident, the Second Sino-Japanese War happened in July 7, 1937. Since China received support from the US and the UK, it lasted for a long time. Later, Japan suffered from the lack of natural resources. Japan sent armed forces to Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, which were colonized by France.
At the same time, World War II began in Europe because Germany invaded Poland on September 1, 1939. Japan was hostile to the US and the UK. In 1940, Japan formed an alliance with Italy and Germany and entered the war as the Axis power. Therefore, the conflict was decisive between the Axis power and the Allied forces, such as the US, the UK, France, the Soviet Union, and China. However, because of the long-lasting Second Sino-Japanese War, Japan was completely at a loss of resource. This is why Japan tried to convince the US to export resources to their country, which did not come true. This was the time when Japan made up their mind to properly fight against the Allied forces. The long-term war against the US was clearly disadvantageous for Japan from economic and military aspects. Therefore, Japan planned a surprise attack on the American Navy in Hawaii by the force. This was because the Japanese government tried to give disastrous damage to the US just after the opening of the war. This is known as the attack on Pearl Harbor.
On December 8, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Because of this attack, the Pacific War happened between Japan and the US. In the beginning, Japan was advantageous and captured Southeast Asia and many islands located in the Pacific Ocean. However, after June 1942, the war situation reversed and got hard because of Midway naval battle. The US ambushed Japan that planned to capture the Midway Island, and at the time, many Japanese aircraft carriers were lost. After that, Japanese occupied areas such as Guadalcanal Island were taken away by the US. In July 1944, the US recaptured the Saipan Island, which was the most significant base in the Pacific Ocean for Japan. This was a very big incident for Japan. Therefore, the US started the air raid on the Japanese mainland. This was because B-29 could go to the Japanese mainland without supplying the fighter with fuel. What is worse, the Allied forces started to attack Okinawa, which involved citizens, and the attack continued for 3 months. To end World War II, the US decided to use the atomic bomb for the first time in humankind.
At the end of April 1945, the selection of cities to drop the atomic bomb started at the Manhattan Project. There were some conditions to select the city. For example, it had to be an urban area at least 3 miles in diameter and had to be situated between Tokyo and Nagasaki. It also had to have a strategic worth. After considering them, 17 cities were selected. These are the 17 cities we've said before. On May 11th, 4 cities, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Yokohama, and Kokura, were selected. The order made the US Army ban normal air raid against these cities. Through several consultations, the United States decided 4 target cities, Hiroshima, Kokura, Niigata, and Nagasaki, on July 25th. On the next day, July 26th, the Potsdam Declaration was announced.
The dropping trainings of the atomic bomb were conducted several times in the desert in the United States because the method of dropping was different from normal bombs. Moreover, 49 practice bombs, called the pumpkin, were dropped around Japan. You may have imagined that practice bombs are slight, simple bombs. Surprisingly, although the normal bombs weighed 2 tons, pumpkin weighed 5 tons. They were the same kinds of bombs with the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. They had the same shape, size, and weight of gunpowder. They caused crushing damage.
On August 2nd, the order was given that the atomic bomb will be dropped. The first target was Hiroshima, the second target was Kokura, and the third target was Nagasaki. Niigata was excluded from target cities because there was a distance between the district where factories concentrated and residence region included small factories. For the same reasons, Kokura and Nagasaki were the second and third target. In Hiroshima, there were no prisoner camps near the city as far as the army knew. Moreover, Hiroshima was the biggest city excluding Kyoto, which was little damage from incendiary bombs attacks in Japan. As a result, Hiroshima was chosen as the ideal target of dropping the atomic bomb, because the US could observe and evaluate the damage caused by the atomic bomb.
By the way, do you know when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? The bomb was dropped on Hiroshima at 8:15 a.m. on August 6, 1945. On Nagasaki at 11:02 a.m. on August 9, 1945. Now, we will show what happened on August 6. At 1:45 a.m. on August 6, 1945, the Enola Gay, which was loaded with the atomic bomb called the Little Boy took off Tinian Island, which is 2,740 kilometers away from Japan. By the Morse code from the weather frame, which departed 1 hour earlier than the NRA, the US decided to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, and then the NRA continued to fly on schedule and arrived on Hiroshima after 6.5 hours. Crewmen had to conduct checking with eyes, not with radar, when they dropped the atomic bomb. And the atomic bomb was dropped on Iowa Bridge, which is the T shape.
It is said that it was sunny and so hot on August 6th. In Hiroshima City, many people spent their ordinary life until the moment came. At 43 seconds after the atomic bomb was dropped, it exploded 600 meters above Shima Hospital. It is located 300 meters away from Iowa Bridge. At the next moment, the flash and shockwaves happened within a radius of 500 meters from the hypocenter. By the instant, the daily life of people in Hiroshima was taken away. Well, that's it for this time. We're happy if you learned the story up to the atomic bombing and our activity. If you have any questions or something you want to learn more about, please let us know through our social media accounts. When you scan these QR codes, you can have access to our Instagram and Twitter. If you don't mind, please follow our accounts. We use other websites too. You can find them through the QR codes, which we introduced in our very first video, Hatstoko. We are happy if you follow these accounts too. We will announce information such as events through social media, so please check them out.
Thank you for watching so far. We appreciate your support for FacetoPeace. We would like to ask you to give us a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media. The next video will be Let's Learn Hiroshima Outline Explanation of the Atomic Bomb Part 2, Japanese version. We will mainly introduce the damage of the atomic bombing. Don't worry if you don't understand Japanese, because we are also planning for English version. We hope you will watch the next video too. See you soon. Bye.